The unbelievable crimes of Darryl Strawberry went way beyond just substance abuse. He filed false reports, got caught soliciting sex from an undercover cop, was found with cocaine, and even failed to pay child support, landing him in legal trouble. What could have been a great career instead became a series of horrifying and dark crimes that overshadowed his time on the field. His legal troubles weren't just a one-time thing. They followed him for years, turning what could have been a legendary career into a series of unbelievable crimes and personal downfalls. It all started back in December 1995, when he was charged in California for failing to make child support payments. At first, it seemed like just another financial misstep, but things quickly spiraled. By June 5, 1996, he had missed a crucial deadline to pay up, and a Los Angeles judge set a trial date for July 17th. Realizing he had no way out, Strawberry agreed to use his signing bonus to settle the debt. But this was just the beginning of his money problems. By August 1998, his financial woes hit another level when famed attorney Robert Shapiro sued him for failing to pay $100,000 in legal fees. That debt dated all the way back to 1994, when Shapiro had helped him negotiate a contract with the Dodgers. At this point, Strawberry was drowning in financial and legal troubles, but his downfall wasn't just about money, it was about the choices he kept making. Then came April 3rd, 1999, a night that would push his already troubled reputation even further into the gutter. In Tampa, Florida, Strawberry was arrested after he tried to solicit sex from an undercover policewoman posing as a prostitute. If that wasn't bad enough, he was also caught with a small amount of cocaine. Just 3 weeks later, on April 24th, Major League Baseball came down hard, suspending him for 140 days. His baseball career was already shaky, but this made it clear his off-the-field troubles were officially overshadowing his talent. On May 29th, he pleaded no contest to the charges, which resulted in 21 months of probation and a court order for community service. It was yet another humiliating chapter in a career that should have been celebrated, but the hits kept coming. Fast forward to September 11th, 2000, and Strawberry found himself in even deeper trouble. Once again in Tampa, he made the reckless decision to drive after taking painkillers. But this wasn't just a case of bad judgment. While behind the wheel, he blacked out, crashed into another car, and then, instead of stopping, tried to drive away. An off-duty police officer saw everything and wasn't about to let him go. The officer pulled his gun and arrested Strawberry on the spot. The next day, realizing he had no defense, Strawberry admitted to the charges, and his probation was escalated to 2 years of house arrest. But even that wasn't enough to keep him out of trouble. On October 25th, 2000, he snuck out of a Tampa drug treatment center to go do drugs with a female friend. This, of course, violated his house arrest and parole. 2 weeks later, on November 9th, the court sent him to jail for 40 days, though he was given credit for time served. By November 3rd, 2000, Strawberry was in such a dark place that he told a judge in Tampa he had lost the will to live and had even stopped his chemotherapy treatments. Just weeks later, on November 30th, he was released from jail and sent back to rehab. Then came April 2nd, 2001, and yet another arrest, this time for disappearing from his house arrest drug treatment center. The courts gave him yet another chance, sentencing him to more time at the rehab facility instead of prison. But Strawberry couldn't stay out of trouble. On March 12, 2002, he violated several non-drug-related rules at the treatment center in Ocala, Florida, breaking the terms of his probation. That was the final straw. On April 29th, he was ordered to serve the 22-month suspended prison sentence from his 1999 case. After serving 11 months, Strawberry was finally released from prison on April 8, 2003. But even after all that time behind bars, his legal troubles weren't over. In September 2005, he was charged with filing a false police report after claiming his SUV had been stolen. Eventually, he admitted he had lied, but since it was only a misdemeanor, he wasn't arrested. His life wasn't just a roller coaster of unbelievable crimes and controversy. It was also a battle for survival. His struggles didn't just come from bad decisions and legal troubles. He also faced some of the toughest health challenges imaginable. It all started on October 1st, 1998, when doctors gave him life-changing news. He had colon cancer. Just 2 days later, he was on the operating table, undergoing surgery to remove a tumor. At first, there was hope that the procedure had taken care of things, but by October 14th, doctors had more bad news. The cancer had already spread to at least one of his lymph nodes, which meant surgery wasn't enough. He would also have to go through chemotherapy. It was a devastating reality for a man whose body had once been his greatest asset. Now, instead of battling pitchers on the field, he was fighting for his life. For a while, it seemed like he might have beaten it, but cancer is relentless. And on July 28, 2000, a routine CT scan suggested that it had come back, this time spreading even further through his lymph nodes. Just weeks later, on August 7th, he had to undergo yet another surgery, this time to remove a tumor near his left kidney. It was another brutal setback, another painful reminder that no matter what he had achieved in baseball, life had a way of throwing curveballs that no one could hit. Years passed, and while Strawberry had managed to overcome cancer, his health struggles weren't over. Then in 2024, another major scare nearly took him out. Around March 11th, he suffered a heart attack, something that could have been fatal if he hadn't gotten medical attention in time. He underwent a stent procedure and spent time recovering in a hospital in Lake St. Louis, Missouri. But if there's one thing about him, it's that he always finds a way to keep going. Just a month later, on April 14th, he was well enough to attend a special ceremony where the Mets honored his longtime teammate and friend Dwight Gooden by retiring his number 16 jersey. And then, in what must have been one of the most emotional moments of his life, Strawberry himself was honored by the Mets on June 1st as they retired his own number. No matter the drama or the health challenges he faced, his career was undeniably remarkable and deserving of praise. With his towering frame, natural athleticism, and sweet left-handed swing, it was no surprise when the New York Mets made him the first overall pick in the 1980 Major League Baseball draft. The Mets saw something special in him, a player who had the potential to change the future of their franchise. But he wasn't the only one in his family with baseball talent. His older brother, Michael Strawberry, was also drafted that same year, landing with the Los Angeles Dodgers in the 31st round. While Michael never made it to the big leagues, Darryl was about to take baseball by storm. One of the first things people noticed about Strawberry was his distinctive batting stance. He had this high leg kick, almost like a pitcher winding up before a big throw. It made him stand out, but it also gave him incredible power and timing at the plate. That stance, combined with his raw ability, helped him climb quickly through the Mets minor league system. By 1983, just a few years after being drafted, he had already arrived in the majors, and he wasted no time proving he belonged. That rookie season was electric. Strawberry immediately showed that he wasn't just another prospect, he was a game changer. He blasted 26 home runs, legged out 7 triples, and drove in 74 runs, all while hitting .257. Those numbers weren't just solid for a rookie. They were the kind of stats that made people stop and take notice. It was clear the Mets had something special on their hands, and the league agreed. At the end of the season, Strawberry was named the National League Rookie of the Year, cementing his status as one of baseball's brightest young stars. But he wasn't about to slow down. In 1984, Strawberry proved his rookie season was no fluke. He put up another 26 home runs, but this time, he drove in an even more impressive 97 runs. His performance earned him his first trip to the All-Star Game, where he played alongside some of the best players in baseball. And this wasn't just a one-time honor. Strawberry would go on to make 8 straight All-Star appearances, with the first 5 as a starter. His time with the New York Mets from 1984 to 1990 wasn't just impressive, it was legendary. During those years, the Mets were one of the best teams in the National League, finishing either first or second in their division every single season. And at the heart of it all was Strawberry. By the mid-'80s, Strawberry wasn't just a baseball star, he was a cultural phenomenon. His towering home runs and electric style of play made him one of the most recognizable figures in the sport. His image was everywhere, from posters and banners to Kenner's starting lineup action figures. Every kid who loved baseball wanted to be like Darryl, and every pitcher feared facing him. But as bright as his star was shining, he also faced some tough moments, both on and off the field. The 1985 season was shaping up to be a big one for the Mets, and Strawberry was a key part of their championship chase. But then, disaster struck. On May 11th, while making a diving catch on a ball hit by Ozzie Virgil of the Philadelphia Phillies, Strawberry tore the ligaments in his thumb. It was a brutal injury that required surgery, forcing him to miss 43 games. The Mets felt his absence in a big way. With Strawberry in the lineup, they played like an elite team, winning at a 655 clip. Without him, they struggled, going just 20-23. In the end, they finished 3 games behind the St. Louis Cardinals in the division race, a heartbreaking near miss. But when he was healthy, Strawberry proved time and time again why he was one of the most dangerous hitters in the game. On October 1st, 1985, with the Mets trailing the Cardinals by 3 games in the standings and just 6 games left in the season, they knew they needed to sweep St. Louis to have a real shot at the division title. That night, Ron Darling and Cardinals ace John Tudor battled in a scoreless duel that stretched into extra innings. Then in the 11th inning, Strawberry stepped up and delivered a massive home run off Ken Daly, crushing the ball so hard that it hit the clock on the scoreboard at Busch Stadium. It was a defining moment in his career. The Mets went on to win that game and the next one behind Dwight Gooden, but they fell just short in the final game of the series, ending their season in disappointment. Still, Strawberry had put up incredible numbers: 29 home runs, 79 RBIs, and an OPS of .947, which would have ranked second in the National League if not for the time he missed with his injury. If 1985 was a year of frustration, 1986 was pure dominance. The Mets stormed through the regular season, setting a franchise record with 108 wins. Strawberry was a huge part of that success, blasting 27 home runs and driving in 93 runs. But the real magic came in the postseason. The Mets battled the Houston Astros in a thrilling National League Championship Series before taking on the Boston Red Sox in the World Series. After an unforgettable comeback in Game 6, the Mets found themselves leading Game 7 in the 8th inning, 6-5. To put the final nail in the coffin, Strawberry crushed a home run off Al Nipper, sealing the Mets' first championship since 1969. He made sure to take his time rounding the bases, savoring the moment. But that slow home run trot didn't sit well with Nipper. And the next spring, during a Mets-Red Sox exhibition game, tensions boiled over, leading to a brawl. By 1987, he had solidified himself as one of the best all-around players in baseball. That season, he put up monster numbers: 39 home runs, 36 stolen bases, 32 doubles, and 104 RBIs, becoming just the 10th player in MLB history to join the exclusive 30-30 club. Even more impressively, he and teammate Howard Johnson both accomplished the feat that year, making them the only teammates in MLB history to do it in the same season. Despite his heroics, injuries to key pitchers derailed the Mets' playoff hopes. The following year, Strawberry wasted no time making a statement. On opening day in Montreal, he launched a massive home run that was estimated at 525 feet, so far that it actually struck the roof of Olympic Stadium. He finished the season with 39 homers, once again leading the National League in that category, while also topping the league in slugging percentage and OPS. He finished second in MVP voting that year, just behind the Dodgers' Kirk Gibson, in one of the closest races in history. And although the Mets made it back to the playoffs, they fell short in the National League Championship Series against the Dodgers. By 1989, Strawberry's numbers began to decline. His power was still there. He hit 29 home runs, but his batting average dipped to just .225. The Mets finished in second place behind the Cubs, and the frustration of missed opportunities began to take its toll. The following year, he rebounded with a strong 1990 season, hitting 37 home runs, driving in 108 runs, and raising his average to .277. He even finished third in MVP voting, but despite his performance, the Mets once again fell just short, losing the division to the Pittsburgh Pirates by 3 games. Although Strawberry's time with the Mets was filled with success, he wasn't without controversy. He had a reputation for being moody and sometimes unpredictable. There was a heated argument with team captain Keith Hernandez that escalated into a physical fight on team picture day. He also clashed with infielder Wally Backman, even threatening to bust that little redneck in the face. And on more than one occasion, he overslept and missed team workouts. After the 1990 season, it was clear that Strawberry's time in New York was coming to an end. On November 8, 1990, he signed a massive 5-year, $22.25 million contract with the Los Angeles Dodgers, marking the beginning of a new chapter in his career. In his first year with the Dodgers, he had a solid season, blasting 28 home runs and driving in 99 runs. He even earned recognition off the field, being named Big Brother of the Year in 1991. But injuries and personal issues quickly derailed what should have been the prime of his career. Over the next 2 seasons, he barely saw the field, managing just 5 home runs each year. It was a stunning fall from grace for a player who had once been compared to Hank Aaron in terms of home run potential. By the end of the 1991 season, Strawberry had 280 career home runs at just 29 years old. After his impressive start with the Dodgers, his career took a turn that no one, probably not even he, could have predicted. The years after 1991 weren't kind to him, at least on the field. Injuries, personal struggles, and off-the-field distractions started piling up, and his numbers reflected that. Over the next 2 seasons, he barely saw any action, playing in just 75 games combined. Things really hit rock bottom in 1994. By that point, his time with the Dodgers had turned sour, and when he straight up didn't show up for a game, the team had enough. They released him in May, officially ending what was supposed to be his triumphant homecoming to Los Angeles. But baseball wasn't done with Strawberry just yet, and neither was he done with baseball. Later that year, the San Francisco Giants gave him another shot, hoping he could regain even a fraction of the magic that had made him a superstar. But it just wasn't there. He struggled at the plate, managing only 4 home runs and knocking in just 17 runs for the season. Not exactly the kind of numbers that scream comeback. Then came 1995, and with it, another major setback. Before the season even got going, he tested positive for cocaine, and Major League Baseball hit him with a suspension. By this point, even his most loyal supporters had to wonder, was this the end? Would Darryl Strawberry be remembered as just another wasted talent? But here's the thing about Strawberry. He always found a way to claw his way back. That summer, instead of fading into the background, he took an unconventional route and signed with the St. Paul Saints of the Northern League on May 3rd. It was an independent league, not the majors, but it was a chance to prove he still had something left. And sure enough, on June 2nd, playing against the Duluth Superior Dukes at Wade Stadium, Strawberry reminded everyone of the kind of power he possessed. He crushed a home run measured at 522 feet, a towering blast that felt like a message to the baseball world. I'm not done yet. And just like that, the New York Yankees took notice. On July 4th, 1996, the Yankees, looking for an extra bat to boost their playoff run, decided to take a gamble on him. And this time, Strawberry made the most of it. He wasn't the player he once was, but in a part-time role, he showed flashes of his old brilliance. He launched 11 home runs, helping the Yankees capture the World Series title. It was his first championship since 1986 with the Mets, and it came alongside a couple of familiar faces, former teammates Dwight Gooden and David Cohn. He even had a couple of vintage performances along the way. One of them came on August 6th when he blasted 3 home runs in a single game against the Chicago White Sox. Then, in the ALCS against the Baltimore Orioles, he turned back the clock again, hitting 3 homers, driving in 5 runs, and batting .417 in just 4 games. But injuries still haunted him. In 1997, his playing time was severely limited, and he finished the season with 0 home runs and just 2 RBIs. It was frustrating, but once again, he bounced back in 1998. That year, he managed to stay healthy enough to play in 100 games, the most he had played in a season since 1991. And he delivered, blasting 24 home runs, and once again helping the Yankees win another World Series. There was just one problem. For 2 months, Strawberry had been quietly dealing with severe abdominal pain. He didn't tell anyone, not his teammates, not the coaching staff, nobody. Eventually, though, it became too much to ignore. During the American League Division Series, Doctors discovered the reason behind his pain: colon cancer. He was immediately pulled from the Yankees' playoff roster, and rookie Ricky Leday took his spot. Baseball was no longer the main concern. His life was on the line. After undergoing treatment, Strawberry attempted yet another comeback in 1999. He returned to the Yankees, but it was clear he wasn't the same player anymore. He played sparingly and only hit 3 home runs. But even in limited action, he still found a way to make an impact. In the ALDS against the Texas Rangers, he delivered one last clutch moment, hitting a crucial 3-run home run that helped the Yankees advance to the next round. As the 2000 season approached, it looked like Strawberry would get one more shot. He was set to return to the Yankees once again, but then another twist, one that officially brought his playing career to an end. In February, while attending spring training, Strawberry tested positive for cocaine yet again. With his history of suspensions and issues off the field, it was clear that Major League Baseball had run out of patience. Commissioner Bud Selig handed down the harshest penalty yet, a full season suspension. At that point, it was over. Darryl Strawberry's career was finished, not with a grand farewell, but with another heartbreaking setback. His story is one of the most complex and unforgettable in baseball history. From the moment he was drafted first overall in 1980, he was seen as a superstar in the making. And for much of the 1980s, that's exactly what he was: a feared power hitter, a multiple-time All-Star, and a key player on some of the best teams in the league. But as much as his talent took him to incredible heights, his personal struggles often pulled him back down. His battles with addiction, suspensions, and even time behind bars turned him from a baseball icon into a cautionary tale. At one point, it seemed like every time he got a second chance, he would find a way to lose it. The drugs, the missed games, the trouble with the law, it all painted the picture of a man spiraling out of control. By the late 90s, after multiple comebacks, a cancer diagnosis, and another suspension, it seemed like his career, and maybe even his life, was at risk of ending in tragedy. But his story didn't end that way. Despite all his struggles, he eventually found redemption. After stepping away from baseball for good, he turned his life around. He got clean, embraced religion, and dedicated himself to helping others who faced the same demons he once battled. He became a minister, a motivational speaker, and an advocate for people fighting addiction. His life, once defined by home runs and highlight reels, became about something much bigger, using his past mistakes to guide others toward a better future. His legacy is complicated. He could have been one of the greatest players of all time. His numbers, as impressive as they are, don't fully reflect how much potential he left on the table. But at the same time, his journey, full of ups, downs, mistakes, and comebacks, is what makes him truly unforgettable. That's a wrap for today's video. If you had a great time watching, be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.